The first thing I would say when it comes to setting and truly executing, achieving audacious goals would be to start the process way before the time that you need it. Most of the relationships that came true for the conference and that have come true for many of the great things that I have done have been built way before the time that it was needed. So I want to say that if you know that you're going somewhere, if you know that you're going far, you already have that awareness that your journey is going to take you to places of greatness. What you want to do is you want to begin to acquire the resources that can put you at a place of ease when that time comes.
Welcome to Voices with Victoria, the series that unlocks the power of resilience. Join me and industry experts as we explore career development, human capacity, nation building, and entrepreneurship.
This is Voices with Victoria Undu, and I am super excited to have another episode. And guess what? We have here with us in the studio for this episode with Voices. I am so excited to have this particular guest on the show with me. Guess who? Guess who? The one and only convener of the Growth Acceleration Conference, the one that shook every pillar and cranny in Nigeria, West Africa. We had people from all over the world gather for this particular conference, and we have here in the studio Fii Stephen. Hello, Fii.
Hi, Victoria. It's great to be here.
Oh my God, I'm so excited and honored to have you on this episode with me. How are you doing?
I'm great. I feel awesome. I'm good.
Of course, awesome. Coming from, organizing one of the biggest conferences in Nigeria, I'm sure that you feel excited
Yes, I do.
and happy. So, beyond all these things that we know about you on social media, who is Fii Stephen? Just give us your story.
Okay, my name is Fee. Like you already know, I would say that my story has several parts, and probably I'll just focus on a couple of those. Growing up, I grew up in a very small family of just three children: myself, my elder brother, my younger sister, and my parents. And there were several defining moments for me at that time. One that I can really remember very vividly at this moment was a particular time when I began to take academics seriously because of my elder brother. Now,
Wow.
my brother was someone that would sit me down in the house. We had this mats that were made of raffia, this raffia mats then. So we'll sit down at the middle of the house late at night when I'm back from school. We'll sit down on that mat. We'll use a kerosene lantern.
Wow.
Those ones that had like a glass stuff
bulb
around
it.
Yeah, that you have to always be cleaning it so that
Yes.
you can see vividly. And we'll sit down there, and my brother would have me go through several mathematics exercises. He would tell me that I should solve everything. That if I solve everything, there's literally nothing that they will give me that I will not be able to do.
So-
Because where else would they take the questions from? If I can do everything in like 2-3 maths textbooks that I had access to, I've covered all my bases. And that was literally what happened. That was how I became really good in mathematics. I was really good in mathematics. And it seemed as though the better I got in mathematics, the better I got in other subjects. I think sometimes when you go for the, in quotes, hard things, the other things becomes easier.
Yes.
But when you ignore the ones that are in quotes hard, every other thing becomes even hard on its own. So growing up, I had my elder brother as my first ever mentor in that area. I had parents that, to a large extent, to the best that they could, cared fully for me. I had people that, even though we're not, I would say, upper middle class, but there were people that could do anything to make sure that we had an okay life. So I was not affluent, but I was not in luck.
Yes.
Until I started intentionally putting myself in luck. Because sometimes I say that it is sometimes easier for someone that is in quotes poor to become wealthy than someone that is middle class, someone that is at the middle. So you're not poor, you're not rich. You
Because
have
there's no
what you need.
pressure.
Yes, there's no pressure. You're just there. So I had to intentionally put pressure on myself. I remember when I was in the university, I know that if I make a call home, something will come to me. It may not be so much, it may not be, a lot, but something will come. But
Yes.
at a point in time, I had to intentionally say, no, I'm not going to make this call. I'm going to think of how I can create that artificial scarcity that can give me the ability to think
Wow.
of
artificial
ways,
scarcity.
yes, of ways that I can make money for myself. So I did that from the university down to even after university, and I think that was the kind of journey that has brought me to where I am now. That's the kind of home I am coming from. That's the kind of upbringing that I have, an upbringing that says that for you to be excellent, you have to, as much as possible, do everything possible within the resources that you have, cover all your bases totally. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And I have some very instructive lessons that I picked from your story, but we'll get back to that
Yeah.
in the course of this conversation.
Awesome.
Yes. I'm so excited asking this question because I came into Lagos, I
Yeah.
attended this event, and it's been a nourishing event for me, and I'm sure that a lot of persons can say same about this event.
Yeah.
How was it like for you hosting one of the biggest conferences in Lagos?
I would say it took a lot of courage, and it took people. Yes, so courage and people. Those are two major things that was very very instrumental to the success of the conference. When I thought about it, when I got the vision for the conference, I knew that it was big.
Yes.
But even though I knew it was big, when I started the process, it was bigger than what I thought I knew. And by bigger, I mean in terms of the work that needed to be done, the efforts that we need to put in every single way. Yeah, so it has an exciting outcome, but the real lessons are in the process. I got to really see the importance of relationships, the importance of having people before the time you need them. I had people that were showing up for me in ways that I can't even begin to talk about. So that was one of the major drivers of this conference. I had to use my skill. I have a core in marketing.
Yes.
So I'm a digital marketer. I'm a growth marketing manager. So I had to use a lot of those skills to make sure that everyone that needed to be a part of that conference at least knows about it, because there are people that would really need those things that were going to be shared. I had put together speakers that are stellar, speakers that are industry leaders, and I wanted to be sure that everyone that comes to that conference has the tools, the resources, the strategies that they need to grow, and not just grow, but grow at a 10x level. And that was what the conference did. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback.
Yes.
People are still sending in. Even till today, before I came to this show, I still got a number of feedback from the conference about how much value they get. And as great as those feedbacks are, I'm really looking forward to 2, 3, 4 months from now when they begin to see the results of the things that they've learned. That's like the feedback I'm anticipating, really.
Amazing, amazing. Still on the conference,
Yeah.
because it's a massive thing and we have to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons, especially as the founder, as a convener, along you mentioned process,
Yeah.
we are seeing the results, we are admiring the massive result from it. But what are some of the lessons that you've learned, probably pre, during, and post the conference, that you think would be instructive?
Okay, so pre the conference, one lesson I would say would be really the importance of planning. So we did a lot of plan. In fact, we did not even execute all the plans, right? But we did a lot of planning, and the planning was very very detailed, as detailed as how many people would be assigned to a speaker, as detailed as how many exact number of seats we needed at a particular place, as detailed as every single minute on the schedule, what it will be used for. So it was very, very detailed. So planning cannot be overemphasized. You can only adjust when you have a baseline. So you can optimize when there's a baseline. When you have something that should be, then you can. It's when you have a metric to measure that you can then know did this do well or did this not do well. Then you can optimize. So planning is one of the major lessons pre the conference. Second would be communication. So I got to work with a lot of people. My team members are amazing. They're excellent people. And we needed to do a lot of communication, both from me to them, from they to themselves, and then also, had my team lead, John Amilo, amazing young man. Just organize this thing. So I was able to delegate some of these things to them. John was able to delegate to the other team members, and it was just a nexus of people. So the importance of people cannot be overemphasized. Having people, to a large extent, having people makes things work, especially people that are dedicated, people that are committed, people that are able to take up tasks and have that sense of ownership. They take up something and literally make sure you don't worry about it anymore. So we had people like that on the team. So planning, and then having the people that can execute those plans, and then last would be feedback. So some things may not go as planned. In fact, we had value systems within the team. There were 3 value systems that we worked with. The first value system was commitment. So everyone knew that they would be committed to this. There's that high level of dedication. Commitment is making sure that you know what you're responsible for, and whatever you're responsible for, you make sure that part works. So everybody is the owner of something. You're the owner of a small part of the entire project. It was a project. It was handled as a project. The second value that we had as a core value in the team was excellence. So it's one thing to be committed to something. It's another thing to do it at the highest possible way within the resources you have. So commitment is great, but if you're committed and you do things shabbily, just because, okay, this is my responsibility, let me just do it, it can't give the result we got. So the second core value was excellence. We said that whatever you're committed to, whatever you're responsible for, you do it at the highest level possible. And then the last core value was communication, because we understand that sometimes even though you're committed and then you want to do something excellently, things can go wrong. But then as soon as it goes wrong, do not wait, do not stay back. Immediately reach out, immediately communicate. And we have that very open door policy where team members can speak to anybody about anything.
Yeah, I can see the intentionality behind, the amazing result that we saw over at the conference. I mean, the excellence was everywhere, from the volunteers to the setup, to the speakers, the quality of speakers, and the quality of conversation that we had right there at the conference. And that there is an audacious goal. Like you said, when you started planning, you didn't know it was going to be this massive until you started. Right. Now, let's bring it back home here now to young leaders who are listening to this, who are setting audacious goals. What are some of the insights that you would want to share, or habits or practices that you think would help young people to not only set audacious goals? Because it's one thing to say, I want to have a big conference, but it's another thing to be able to do it and do it very well to give you the results. So how can what is the bridge between setting those audacious goals and actually getting results from those goals?
Okay, so the first thing I would say when it comes to setting and truly executing, achieving audacious goals would be to start the process way before the time that you need it. Most of the relationships that came true for the conference, and that have come true for many of the great things that I have done, have been built way before the time that it was needed. So I want to say that if you know that you're going somewhere, if you know that you're going far, you already have that awareness that your journey is going to take you to places of greatness. What you want to do is you want to begin to acquire the resources that can put you at a place of ease when that time comes. Those resources especially are people. So we have people first as a resource. We have a good name, right? So you have a good name. You're making sure that you do everything possible to make sure that your name is good among people, because ultimately that's what counts. All right, that's what counts. You want to achieve audacious goals. First, start way before the time that you need to achieve that goal. Then the second thing would be courage, because there's some people that would never want to start because they are afraid, right? And it's a genuine fear because what they really want to do is big. What they want to do is a lot, but they're just afraid. Because of that, they're laid back. Now the thing is, how high can you go? There's this question: how high can a tree grow? As high as it possibly can. But for human beings, we kind of limit ourselves by ourselves. If there will be any limit that is placed on you, let it not be placed by you.
Wow.
So if there's any limit at all that will be placed on you, let it not be placed by you. You yourself should see yourself as one that does not have limits. You should know that you are a being that is capable of so much more, and you want to express that so much more to the best of your ability. I'm not going to guarantee you that there will be no failure. I'm not going to guarantee you that there will be no times when the results will not come as great as you had planned. But what I can guarantee you is that there's no project you embark upon that leaves you the same.
Yeah.
It's impossible for you to do something and remain the same way you were before you started doing it. So whatever it is you have in mind, have that courage. Have that courage to go ahead and make it happen. I remember there's this story that I read in scriptures, right, where Joshua had just gone to fight with the Israelites. That was the first time that for any reason they were going to suffer any form of defeat. And
Yeah.
so they came back and they were all mourning, they were all sad, and even Joshua himself was downcast, and he was asking, why did this happen? And the first reply that God gave was, why are you downcast? Get up. That was the first thing. And God started telling him why this happened. That means every result, positive or negative, happened because of something.
Yes.
So instead of spending time mourning, spending time staying downcast, spending time saying this did not work, some people have not done anything because 2 years ago they tried something and it did not work. 5 years ago they tried something and it did not work. If you're listening to this, I would say that you should get up. I would say that you should go back and see why. The result did not just happen. There was a reason. Go and find out why it did not work, then get up and get back to work, because there's so much more. So courage is the second thing for someone that wants audacious goal. The third thing would be to plan extensively. I always say something. I say that extraordinary results demand extraordinary efforts. I will not deceive myself. That's a quote I tell myself. Extraordinary results require extraordinary efforts. I will not deceive myself. So do not deceive yourself. If you want a result that is extraordinary, you want to achieve goals that are audacious, then you must be ready first to plan out what the steps would be. What are those plans that you need to put in place, step by step, that brings you to that place of success, okay? And once you have those things in mind, you go ahead and you execute them at the 10x level, execute them as if everything depends on it. You will be able to get those goals, really.
Yes. Amazing. You've been mentioning people, and I say that you're a people person.
Yeah.
And some of the things you do are people driven as well. You have people at the heart of what you do. You're also big on mentorship because
Yeah.
during the conference, the keynote speaker, is your mentor,
Yeah.
and you do not fail in mentioning how he has been very instrumental to
Yeah.
your growth. I always like to ask this because we're speaking to young people, and in this present day and time, a lot of people think that they are good enough. They have the skills and all of that. And I think I saw this somewhere, probably Instagram or Twitter. I can't remember the platform, but I saw something like mentorship is a buzzword. You can do without it and all of that. Those are their opinions, and they probably have something, valid reasons for that. But from your own experience and with the exposure working with other young leaders as well, where is the place of mentorship in growth, in achieving any kind of result that you want? And again, how can young people connect, practical steps young people can connect with mentors and maintain or sustain that relationship?
Okay, so for me, mentorship is a core part of my own journey personally. Now, like you mentioned, there are several opinions around mentorship. There are some people that, rightly so, they've been burnt by trying to enter into a mentorship relationship, probably because of either the mentee or the mentor or the process. So there are three things that can be a result. So because of that, they have a negative idea of mentorship, and it's fine. But I'll speak as myself. For Fii Stephen, a core part of my process came because of a mentorship relationship. My mentor is Elisha Marman. I was honored to have him at the conference, and he has helped my journey. The thing is, for people that think that they don't need mentorship, I would not be so hard on them, because I was like that at a point. There was a time that I did not even know that there was any need for that. I was really good academically. I had so much academic knowledge. I was great at that. And trying to listen to someone else or having someone teach me something, it wasn't something that I thought was necessary at the time until I met Elisha Marmon, and I sat down and listened to him, and I got to learn a lot of things. So what I would say for someone that knows that they want to go far fast, because mentorship is just a system of flight. Yes, people can make, if it's success, if you want to be successful, yeah, definitely can be successful. Maybe even without, let's say, the idea of mentorship. But how long? How much of figuring out do you want to do on your own? If there was a way for someone to just tell you what you're looking for in a few short lines, in a 5 or 10 minutes conversation, why not take that as opposed to you wanting to figure it out completely on your own? That's what mentorship does. So it's not a compulsion, but it's a highly recommended platform.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and if you want to take up that platform, one of the first things I think you should do. So there are some people that at the beginning they're not even quite sure what to do with their lives, and that's okay. That's fine. You may want to start by trying to get that discovery, because it's mentorship is always better when you have an idea of where you're going, and you want someone to help you in that journey. But even if you really don't, right, there are systems that allows you to, under mentorship, figure these things out. For me, I did not really know that I'll be doing what I'm doing right now when I started to be mentored, and that's where service comes in. So if you're serving in service, you're able to figure out your own. So for me, service was that system that helped me a lot, right? So first, you figure out what it is you want to do. Second thing would be to try to reach out to the person that you want to be mentored by, and you're not just reaching out by communicating immediately. You're reaching out by first trying to get the person's available resources. So if the person has a book, go ahead and get that book. The person has videos on YouTube, go ahead and watch every single video. There are people that I have had to learn from that have watched everything they've ever put out, right? Someone I respect a lot, Olakunle Shoreyo. The first time I discovered him, I took out about 3 weeks. Everything he has spoken that was recorded and kept on YouTube, I have watched it at least once. Everything. Someone like John Obidi, I respect a lot. I've read literally everything he has ever written in his community.
Yeah.
It took me about 2 weeks for that. So these are things that I've done. They may not be like direct mentors per se, but I'm able to glean from that knowledge.
Yes.
That way, when I'm coming to you, I'm coming already with an understanding of your thoughts, an understanding of the things you've put out, and I'm coming maybe even after taking action on some of the things that you've already said. So that makes it easier for you to be mentored when someone sees that you're serious, because mentorship is hard work.
Yes,
I have mentees, so it's hard work. So people want to first see that you're serious. It's something that I read online, that you should make yourself easy to help, right? Yeah. So that's that process. You do that, then you can reach out to the person and make a direct request to be mentored. And if the person says not at this time, know that it's not about you. The person, it's not like the person doesn't. It may be that, okay, the person is very busy. The person, has not just seen sufficient reasons to take you up, or because mentorship kind of gives you access to some sort of private space.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the step-by-step I think someone can do.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Now let's go over to the professional angle. You are a digital marketer
Yeah.
and a growth manager.
Yeah.
How can individuals or even businesses, how can they leverage technology now to be able to amplify their message or their mission in such a way that it connects with their audience or their customers, as the case is?
Okay, so as at this is recorded in 2023, right? And at 2023, and I'm saying the year because these things evolve a lot.
Yes, it does.
Changes quite fast, right? But at this moment, we're at a time when the audience, the people that you're in quote performing for, kind of tells you what they want, and you have to just respond to that. So if you want to amplify your message at this point, one thing that is very crucial is the creatives that you're using. And by that I mean, the designs, the pictures, the videos, the things you're using to capture that message, your storytelling ability, the people that you're using. So in the case of influencer marketing, you want to be using people that those you want to talk to, listen to. Okay, so that's the first step. Identifying, being very clear about the people that you're targeting. It doesn't mean that you won't talk to other people, but before you create a marketing message, before you create an extensive growth marketing plan, end to end from awareness acquisition down to retention and referral, you want to be very clear about the people that you are engaging in this process. Because when you're clear about them, then you can know what best to use to reach them. What kind of messaging we need to use. During the conference, we had a number of creatives, and there was one creative that was performing exceptionally well, giving us about 120 something leads per day.
Wow.
Yeah, every single day for close to 7 weeks. So that gives you a number of leads we have to generate, right? And marketing is a numbers game. It's a full-time numbers game. So whatever the goal is, you want to make sure that you're working with percentages. So if you want to get 100 people for something, you must make sure that we have almost 10,000 people that are interested in that thing, that may even have the money to pay for it, right?
Yes.
So you're trying to use numbers, okay, to make this work. So marketing is a numbers game. So first the creative, and then analyzing the numbers to be sure that the numbers you're trying to reach is congruent, right, with the goals that you have. So your marketing goals are there, the people that you want to reach are there, and then the creative you're using to reach them is there. Then that's when we can bring in the systems, so email marketing, having a landing page, having an end-to-end growth marketing funnel, things like that. That's when those systems begin to come. Facebook advertising, Google advertising, TikTok, and some of these other platforms. So the people, the goal, the creative, and then the marketing systems can come in after that.
Amazing. So if you want to know more about the marketing systems, you know who to meet.
Yeah.
Do well to contact Fii for that. Okay, I wish that we had more time to keep talking and talking and talking, because I'm, having an interesting time in this conversation. But because of time, we'd have to wrap it up here. Please do well share with us final words. What do you have for young persons out there, young leaders in different capacity?
Okay, so if there's anything I want to say to young people, people that are leaders, young leaders especially, wherever you are at this point, I would want to just talk about the brevity of time. Because if there's anything that is very prevalent in youth, is the illusion that you have time. There's no time. There's literally no time. There's an urgency with which you must face your work. There's an urgency with which you must face the things that are placed before you. The king's matter requires haste. So you have to approach whatsoever you do with a sense of urgency.
Yes.
I personally have the opinion that you should not take it easy. Because now that's contextual, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask
Yes.
how we'll find the balance
Yes.
between,
Yes, exactly. It's contextual. Now, this is it. I always say that there's a message for everyone, but be sure that you're listening to the message for you at this time.
Yes.
There's always one person saying, take things easy, and there's always one person saying, do not take things easy. I am the person saying, do not take things easy.
Wow.
But if at this time your message or the message for you is what I am saying, you have to listen to me. It's really important, because if you decide to take things easy when your current phase requires that you don't take it easy, you would pay for
I
it.
think it's about understanding the season
Yes.
of your life.
Yes, the phase that you're in at this time. It's really, really important, right? And that phase, that understanding your current phase, your current season is crucial, because it even affects the activities you do. It's just like a pilot, for example, trying to fly a plane. You can have great goals, audacious goals, but if you don't know what you should do now, if you do what you need to do later now, it affects you. It's just like someone saying, "Oh, I want to fly a plane," and you go and learn all the things that people that are on the air should do when the pilot is gliding in the air, right? The things he should do are not the same things that he does
On
the runway.
Yeah.
So what should you do on your runway? How much of urgency do you need to place on yourself now? That can give you an idea of how fast you need to run. There's a wisdom that comes from understanding the brevity of time, from numbering your days.
Yes.
If you can number your days, your heart can be applied towards wisdom. You can know that you do not waste a day, because a day that is wasted is gone. Right? So you are always thinking of relationships you can build now, networks you can have now, things you can do for people now. Because you truly have now. You are not assured of anything in the future. What you have is now. So do your best with now. Pay the price now. If you can pay the price now, I can almost 100% guarantee you that you will see the results in the future.
Wow. this is such a strong closing, and I can feel the impact of your words, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Fee. Are there any projects we should be looking forward to or activity ongoing?
Yeah, so I think that for now, so we're building the growth accelerator community. If you want to achieve growth in your personal life, your career, your business, we have the growth accelerator community that's being built. You can just go to growthaccelerator.africa. Work in progress, but definitely over a period of time, you would get the resources that you need there. There's also the digital business cycle, specifically for business owners, digitalbusinesscycle.co. You can go and check it out and definitely get the resources you need from there. Other things will be announced most likely on my channel, which I'm sure you'll get to share.
Yes, thank you so much, Fee.
All right.
And please do well to follow Fee on all his social media handles at Fii Stephen. I'm definitely going to share the link somewhere, so you would see it somewhere. Just click the link and be part of this empowering conversation and his community as well. Whether you're a business person, you're a career person, or a young leader who is just looking to make the most of their life. It's been such an interesting conversation again. Thank you so much, Fee, for being on this episode of Voices with Victoria Undu. Until next time, do well to stay well. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching Voices with Victoria. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe, and share. Cheers!